Hello, my name is Stephanie Agnew with the Max South Digital Media Center at Mississippi State University Libraries. In this tutorial, I will use Adobe Illustrator to show you the basic tools needed to create a simple logo. Let's get started. The first thing that you need to understand are anchors and paths. These are the foundation of anything that's drawn in Illustrator. A path is a single line which can be made up of several points. A basic path is a single line with two endpoints. It is referred to as an open path. A shape without points is a closed path. When two or more paths are connected, the result is called a compound path. Now let's talk about anchor points. They are found at the end of a path. Anchor points give users the control over the path's direction and curvature. Points exist so that a path can change direction. Let's look closer at how anchors and paths work to create objects. Grab your pen tool, click to set your first anchor point. Hold down the Shift key and move to the right, and click to set the second anchor point to continue until you complete a square. Click the Select tool to release the shape. Now let's go back to the pen tool. Click a random spot to create more straight lines. As you come back to the beginning point, you will see a small circle. This indicates you are back to the beginning, and you can close the shape by clicking the anchor point. We're going to go back to the pen tool. We're going to click on the artboard to set our first anchor point. Move over, click again, and then pull away from the anchor point. You have handles at each end of your anchor, and you can pull those to turn your curve in the ways that you would like for it to go. Just click, pull, drag, and you can see how it bends your curve. Go back to your anchor point, click again and drag. Then go over to our starting point. You'll see a little circle that appears, and this would let you close up your design, making it a closed path. To deselect, you go back to your selection tool and click anywhere on the artboard. Next, we're moving into the shape tools. Click the rectangle tool, holding down Shift as you drag a square. Green is the fill color selected. Now click and hold the rectangle tool to select the ellipse tool. Drag a circle and choose blue from the color palette. Next, choose the polygon tool. Choose 3 sides and click OK. You can increase or decrease shapes sizes by dragging any of the 4 corners. We will click each shape and position them so that all shapes overlap. Select all objects and go to Window. Find Pathfinder from the Pathfinder panel. Go through the options and see all the possibilities of joining and subtracting paths in order to create other objects. Using Undo, shortcut key is Ctrl-Z, will allow you to go back to the original group and choose other Pathfinder options. Let's begin simple logo design. We're going to set our colors to red for the fill and none as the outline. Get the ellipse tool and draw a circle. Go to the pucker tool. Double-click the button to change the width and the height of the tool. Use the plus sign in the middle of the tool to gently push up the anchor point in the middle. You're just moving it up a little, just to give it a little indentation. Do the same at the top. Change to the smoothing tool to round out sharp edges by moving over the anchor points. Now go to the Select tool to deselect the red circle. Change your fill color to green. Use your Ellipse tool to draw a circle. Select that circle. Make a copy. Drag over both circles to select. Go to the Pathfinder tool and choose Divide. Right-click on both circles and ungroup. Select the white space and then drag the pieces apart. I'm going to drag this over, and as you can see, we've made a leaf. We're going to use the sides to rotate it just a little bit to the left, and then we're going to use the Alt key and drag to copy. We'll increase the size of this leaf just a little bit. We'll move the other leaf over and position it till we're satisfied with the position. Now we're going to go up and add a black stroke to both of the leaves. And next we'll select the apple and give it a black stroke. Now we're going to use our leftover pieces. We're going to get rid of the one that we don't need. We'll select the other. We're going to rotate it around, increase the size a little bit. Then we're going to select just the apple and the piece that we moved over. We're going to use the Divide tool, ungroup, and then we're going to take the pieces away that we don't need. And now you have a perfect apple with a bite out of it. Now we're going to have fun with shapes and words. So we're going to go up to our rounded rectangle tool and we're going to draw a straight, long, skinny rectangle. Then we're going to draw another one right below that one. This one we're going to make a little heavier, and we're going to move it over so that it all lines up. We're going to select both, and then we're going to go to the Align option and make sure that we have these centered. Now we're going to type with the Type tool the word ILL. We're going to resize this text as well as recolor it because we're going to move it over on top of the shape that we've drawn, and we want to have a contrasting color. So we're going to place that. We're going to squeeze it in just a little bit so that it fits. And then we're going to go back to our Type tool. Or you can just copy your text and replace it. And sometimes that's a better option because that way that you'll know that your text is the same size. Now with just a few steps using different shapes and text and changing some color, you've created a really neat and simple logo. Now we're going to work with the Ellipse tool and the Brush tool. We're going to draw a circle. We're going to go up and change the color to blue. We're going to click away to deselect and grab our Brush tool. Doesn't matter what color brush you use. When you use the brush though, you're using the stroke color instead of the fill. So we're going to draw kind of a swooshed line. And we're just going to copy this, so you can hold down Alt and drag this line to copy, or you can right click and do copy paste, whatever works for you. We're going to select over everything. And now we're going to use our Pathfinder tool again. So we're going to go to Window, Pathfinder. And on the Pathfinder, we're going to go down and use the Divide tool. The Divide tool is one of my favorite tools. It's down at the very bottom and it acts like a cookie cutter almost. It cut all of those objects that overlapped each other. Now we're going to ungroup by right-clicking. I'm going to click the center portion, and I'm going to change that color to white. Then we're going to click the bottom portion, and we're going to change that to red. Very simple. We're going to move into working with some more text. We're going to grab our type tool and click, and we're going to type the word bulldog in all caps. Next, we're going to go up to our selection tool and increase the text box. We're going to add a black stroke. We're going to increase the stroke point a little bit just to make it a little bit thicker. Now we're going to deselect by clicking in the white space. And next we're going to go over and investigate what we can do with swatches. So we're going to go to Window and scroll down till we find Swatches. This will open up our swatch panel with the default colors that are there. I can click on different colors. Right now I'm swapping between the fill color and the stroke color. Now we're going to go down to our library at the very bottom and look for color books, and down to the Pantone Solid Coated. We're going to choose Pantone 505. That is the official Mississippi State maroon. I click on that color. It changes my font, but it also adds that color to my swatch palette. Next, we're going to put in 414, which is a gray color that is approved by Mississippi State. It changes our fill color as well as adds that color to our color palette. Next, I'm going to choose the stroke and apply that gray color. So now I have different colors. You can make the colors the same to give it a bold. You can put an outline that's a different color. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go up to the type option at the very top of your screen, and we're going to choose create outlines. When you create outlines with a text block, you are actually separating each letter. So once you do create outlines, you can right click and tell it to ungroup, and then you can pull the letters apart. You can resize each letter. You can give each letter different colors, anything that you want to do to make this look unique. And the great thing about Create Outlines is it allows you to type the word out and then work with the letters individually, as opposed to having to type each letter individually and it being in its own text box. So here I'm just playing with colors, I'm playing with strokes, playing with where each letter is. Sometimes just creating a logo is easily done with text and moving it around. Next, we're going to move into using the rectangle tool. We're going to grab the rectangle tool. We're going to go over to our artboard and drag a square, maybe a little bit of a rectangle. We're going to change that color to blue, as well as we're going to turn the stroke off. And then we're going to take our selection tool, hold down the Alt key on your keyboard, and copy this square. And we're just going to overlap it. Now when you see these little circles in the corner, you can pull those little circles in and it rounds one end. We're going to select both of these and group. We're going to copy this shape, and now we're going to turn the shape this side red. So we have a blue and a red shape. We're going to rotate the red one so that it is facing opposite of the blue. We're going to click and drag. You can see we've got two shapes. We're going to click and drag over the first one by using the shape builder tool, and we're going to knock the walls out between the two shapes. We're going to do the same thing with the red. Shape builder, drag through, and where those paths overlap, it's knocking those out. Now we're going to take the ellipse tool and we're going to draw a small ellipse, turn it white. We're going to go up to our selection tool, select the red circle, hold down the Alt key on your keyboard to copy, and we'll copy that circle twice. And now we have a cute little domino. You can move those closer together, drag over each and group. You can rotate those shapes. Simple little logo. Now what we're going to do is use our shapes and work with type on a path. So the first thing that I'm going to do is to go over to my shape tool and choose an ellipse. Come over and draw this ellipse. I'm going to fill it with color. And then I'm going to go back to the shape tool and take the rounded rectangle tool. I'm going to draw a long narrow shape here that intersects the path of the oval that we've drawn. Go back up to my selection tool, drag and select so that I have both of these selected. I'm also going to go up to the alignment key and do a center alignment so that it adjusts so that those are aligned good. And so then what we're going to do is I'm going to go back to my shape builder tool, and with the shape builder tool you can see as I hover, as we did earlier, I'm going to drag through the paths and knock those walls out so that now I have one solid shape. I'm going to hold down the Alt key after selecting this shape and dragging it down. The reason that we're doing that is we're going to use this shape to actually capture our type on a path text, and use this shape in conjunction with our logo after we have that text created. I'm going to click on this image right here and go over to my type tool, hold down the mouse, and choose type on a path. And you'll see I have an I-beam that has a little wavy line over it. When I come close to the path, it'll say path. It'll just pop up and give you a notation, and I'm going to click. It automatically puts some dummy text in there, and it's already selected. So what I'm going to do is just begin typing. Before I begin typing though, I'm going to increase my point size a little bit, and you'll see that the text that automatically pops in moves around the space. What we want to do is type in our own text. The crazy spoon. And we will there we go. I'm typing upside down. It's a little hard to see. So even though this text is over in this location, we can go up to our selection tool, and you have these different lines where your text is lined up on your path. So I'm going to hover right here below this one, and you can see it's moving the text on around the path. What I want the text to do is to come back this way. So this right here is your end of your path. So I'm going to drag this one back around the path this way so that it rotates and moves my text back around this path. So if I continue to move this, you can see that it's moving. I'm also going to move the start of my path over here. So this is the indicator for where your path begins. This little line is your middle, and this little indicator lets you know this is where the end of your text can go. So you have a starting, an ending, and a middle. And so with these, you continue to drag and select these around. So I'm going to pull this on around so that I have more room for my text. I'm also going to double click on this text and increase the point size so that it makes it larger and it begins to wrap around the path. Now let's say I'm going to go ahead back and do the selection tool. Right here, I am going to, this is my middle guide. This is my end. Let's say I want to make this move on around the path. I'm going to go back to my beginning point and drag this back this way until I get the word spoon where it goes over the hump. And so you just have to manipulate with these three little guides that help you maneuver your starting points and your ending points. Now what I'm going to do is go back up to my selection tool and just click in the white space to deselect. Now you'll understand why we copied our shape before we began typing on a path. Now we can take this shape because it's the exact same size and we can move it in to our text. And so this shape now is on top of the text. What we want to do is to move this shape behind. So I'm going to right click on the shape and I'm going to go to arrange and I'm going to tell it to send to the back. So now you can see that my text overlaps my shape. Now I'm going to increase the depth of the spoon by selecting and dragging down from the bottom handle in the center. And we're going to add some text to the handle. So I'm going to go to the type tool. I'm going to decrease the font. And I'm going to type the phone number. I'm going to move that into the space. And we want to use contrasting colors. So I'm going to change the color of this font to a light color so it contrasts with the dark. Zoom in a little so you can see. We're going to add some text into the space with the tip of the spoon. And just like that, you have completed a logo. So the last thing that I'm going to show you is how to add pattern swatches to your swatch panel. So I have this square already drawn here, and so I'm going to go to the library icon and click, and you'll see that you have many different groupings. Earlier we looked at color books, and that's where we found the Pantone colors, but what we want to focus on right now are patterns. So when I click or just hover over patterns, I have a flyout that says we have basic graphics, we have decorative, and we have nature. We're first going to look at the decorative. So I'm going to go over to decorative, and you'll see since I have this shape selected, any of these swatches that I click on will apply that swatch to the shape. So you'll see we have a variety of swatches. If I go back down to the swatch library menu and I go to patterns and I go back to decorative, they have the monster patterns, and so this are just more choices. You can see how that applies. Once again, we go back down to the swatch libraries menu. We go back to patterns. This time we're going to click on nature. And under nature, you have animal skins and foliage. So I'm going to click on animal skins and apply. We'll look at the nature foliage. Really nice patterns. Finally, I want to show you how to save your files. You're always going to save first as an Illustrator file by going to File, Save. When you need files that you can send to other people or use in other programs, you're going to use the Export option and Export As. Give a name title to your file, and then as on the Save Type, you're going to choose whether you want to save it as a PNG, a JPEG, an SVG file, a TIFF, or any other options that you see available that may apply to what you need. Click Export, and you're done. Thank you for participating in the Adobe Illustrator Getting Started with Basic Logos workshop. I hope that you found this to be helpful. If you have questions or would like to contact me, please use my email address listed on the slide. Also, please visit Mississippi State University Libraries at library.msstate.edu.